Hello everyone, my name is Ko-Fanta. I'm 2022 Mandela Washington Fellowship alumnus, a trainee at Bridgewater State University. Today I'm here to share my MWF interview experience. I summarized all the tips and my experience into 5 interview tips which you can use during your Mandela Washington Fellowship interview. I hope it's gonna boost your interview and it give you a chance to win this prestigious fellowship. So stay tuned until the end to get those 5 interview tips. In addition, if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing to this channel so that you can get notified ahead of others, because I'm planning to prepare relevant videos on short-term training, scholarship and other fellowship like on the Washington Fellowship. So consider subscribing, and if you like this video and get more information from it, please hit the like button so that I will produce more other videos for young leaders out there like you. Without further ado, let's get started. Okay, before discussing the interview tips, let me say something general information on the MWF interview from my own experience. Actually, it can be virtual or it can be in person, based on the decision of the US Embassy or High Commission in your country. For me, it was virtual. First, we get the link for video creator interview. That is, there's already pre-prepared questions. When you click the link, it gets into the questions. It gives you 1 minute to prepare your response. Then you have 2 minutes to give your response. And it's already pre-prepared question, and it records your video and your response. So if they select that one, they give you detailed instruction and information related to the interview. They mostly use that to reduce the number of applicants who got selected for the live interview, to reduce the burden of interviewing many applicants. They use video creators. After video creator, I get into live interview through Zoom. So that is the question is almost similar, and it's linked together with the application in general. I'm not sure, I got like in the video creator around 5 to 8 questions, I'm not sure, but on the live interview on Zoom, I only get like 4 questions. They say like, we're gonna ask you 4 questions and you have 10 minutes, so use your time wisely, efficiently. That's the instruction I get on 4 questions, but there is follow-up questions. When you give response, they ask you another question from your response for more clarification and to get more what you are doing, why you are doing, and blah. Interview tips number 1 is manage your nervousness. You have to calm down yourself before interview, because it's obviously understandable there is certain level of nervousness, but if you are very nervous and panic, it is difficult to give them relevant response, or even it is difficult to understand the question. So you have to manage nervousness. So how we manage this nervousness, we can't avoid it. It is somewhat is important, but it is, if it is out of control, it is negatively affect your interview. So the first thing is you have to be well prepared mentally. Yeah, you have to be prepared mentally. So when we say prepare mentally, it means that you have to review your application essay, what you wrote previously, the one you submitted. You have to download, you have to review that one. The other thing is you have to practice some common questions, interview questions. So you have to record yourself, you have to be satisfied with your how you respond to those some common questions and easy questions, as well as you have to see your communications. You have to be comfortable with your sound, how you sound, as well as how you respond to some easy questions. So that help you so much. Practice help you so much to reduce the level of nervousness. The other thing what causes nervousness is like lack of preparing ahead of the interview. For instance, if it is virtual interview, you have to have those devices like personal computer, tablet, or mobile phone. It is not recommended to use mostly mobile phone, but if you don't have personal computer or tablet, you may go for mobile phone, but you have to have that. The other is you have to have good quality internet connection or Wi-Fi. It's preferable to use cable-based one, so to get more good quality internet. So you have to think ahead of time on those devices and internet. Maybe you may have to use like microphone, earphone or headphone with the microphone to record your sound. So you have to have that one too. So you have to prepare, because on the day of interview, if one of these devices is not working, or if you don't have a Wi-Fi or headphone with microphone, so it increases your level of nervousness because you are not ready for the interview. So you have to be ready for that. The other thing is to reduce your level of nervousness. You have to arrive on time. For instance, if it is a live interview like virtual, you have to at least arrive before 10 minutes. You have to log into your Zoom and you have to check your microphone, your sound, as well as the video. You have to check at least 10 minutes before the interview time. But if it is in person, you have to arrive 30 minutes before the interview at maybe at American corner, local American corner, or at USA embassy, depending on the location. You have to arrive 30 minutes before the interview. All these reduce your level of nervousness if you arrive on time, if you practice it, and if you prepare all the device needed for the interview. The second application tip is have a ready-made intro about yourself. You have to have a ready-made intro about yourself, and you have to practice that one. Because sometimes you may face question like, the first question might be introduce yourself or tell us something about yourself. So for these questions, you have to have a ready-made answer. You have to practice it. Even it is better to have intro or what we call pitch for yourself. You have to prepare that one. You have to practice, because on most of the site visit or in different events, you get a chance, even after selected for the Mandela Washington Fellowship, you have to introduce yourself within 1 to 2 minutes. So you have to prepare ahead of the interview for such type of question, and you have to practice it. So if you manage the first question perfectly, so it can reduce the level of nervousness, you become calm, and it can increase the chance that you can communicate clearly without nervousness, without panicking. So prepare some intro about yourself, introduction about yourself, or brief background about yourself, or what they call pitch. The third interview tip is take time before responding to the questions. You have to take time. Like, even if you know the question, don't rush to respond. Like, don't give ready-made response. I think like you have to have a ready-made response for, like, introduce yourself, tell us about yourself for that. But for the questions, for other questions, don't jump to give ready-made answers. Take time, and like the question they give you, at least take like 10 to 15 10 to 15 seconds. Analyze the question, understand the question carefully so that you can give the right response. So taking time is important for you because you have to respond the question fully. You have to understand the question. Sometimes you may face some strange question, unexpected question. In such scenario, you may ask them to repeat it. Even if you understand the question, to buy time for your response, you can ask them to repeat it. But don't ask them to repeat every question because it's weird to ask, repeat it again for, pardon me, will you repeat it? Don't ask for all questions to repeat. The first interview tips is stick to your application essay. You have to read again and again what you submitted, what you wrote previously, and you have to know them, and you have to stick to the main idea of your application essay during the interview, because most of the interview question goes back to your applications, and you can use the examples as well as those scenarios you mentioned in your application essay. So mostly stick to your application essay, because it's better to stick to your application essay rather than giving something not related to those which you wrote for your application essay. Be specific and support your response with examples as well as figures. Even if you didn't mention figures and examples in your application essay, this is a chance to be more specific, to use your own story, to use examples as well as figures, and statistics matters. So use this chance to show the impact of your work, what you wrote on the application essay. This is a chance to be more specific, to use your own story, to use examples as well as figures, and statistics matters. So use this chance to show the impact of your work, what you wrote on the application. Even if you have some accomplishment after submitting your application, you can introduce as an add-on. Don't waste most time on the new accomplishment. You have to mention those accomplishments you mentioned in your application essay. Then you can add, if you have any new accomplishment after submitting the application, you can introduce as an add-on. If it go with the main theme of your application essay, you can use that one. The last interview tips is what to wear. Obviously, guys, you don't have to wear t-shirts like this. This is not for interview. They even specify, even whether it is virtual or in person, you have to wear business attire. So you have to look like a leader, even from the outfit, from your clothes too. So select the clothes you wear. So don't over, don't over exaggerate it. So kind of like this, for instance, what I use is like this, so you can use like it for guys. For females, I don't know, you guys know what to wear. Even for different events, you have different clothes for that, so you know what to wear. If you watch this video until now, thank you so much. I hope this information will help you. Probably it's gonna boost your interview, and I wish you all the best with your interview. Good luck. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button. That inspires me to produce more videos and smart contents. Thank you so much. Bye bye.